Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about circular saw blades, okay? When you go to the hardware store, there is a just whole section full of different kind of saw blades, alright? And if you get like Woodwork magazines and that sort of thing, you're going to see like 1,000 different kinds of blades, alright? Whether they're table saw blades or regular handheld circular saw blades, like little ones that are in a quarter or something like that. There are tons and tons and tons of blades out there, alright? So if you've been woodworking for a long, long time, you probably already know all this stuff, but it might be a good refresher, or if you want to like show this to one of your buddies or something. If you're new to woodworking and you buy your first table saw and you see a blade in there, but you kind of want to upgrade, you want to get something a little more fancy, what the hell do you buy, okay? Now, when you go in, like I said, there's tons and tons of different blades. What is the difference, okay? You got this kind, you got that kind, you got one of these ones, alright, tons of different kinds, alright. Now, let me tell you a couple things first, alright. These are all really old blades. I've beaten the crap out of these over the years, and they haven't been sharpened, cleaned, anything. I just have them lying around, and they're super easy to show you, alright. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the blades that I got over here, and draw you some pictures too. Basically, you got two types of cuts, alright. You got a piece of wood right here. You can see the grain direction is going this way, okay? If you make a cut going this way, this is called a rip cut. If you do a cut across this way, it is called a cross cut because you're going across the grain. Now, depending on the type of cut that you're doing might dictate the type of blade that you use, okay? Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, check it out. Can do some whiteboard stuff. Okay. On a blade, you have the carbide tip. All right. I'll show you what that is here in a second. When you're looking at the blade, okay, like looking like dead on down the blade, like that. Okay. This is what you're going to see. Okay. You got a chunk of carbide right here, and then here's the rest of the blade. Okay. This is like a super zoomed in kind of version of it. Now you also have some of the teeth on here actually, where it's kind of like that. Okay, we're kind of at an angle, and some of them is just going to be the opposite angle, just like that. Okay, and then you're going to have some where it's going to be a combination of all three of these. Okay, now for those, try to explain that a little bit. So the ones that have the combination, all right, what that does is when you're doing, like, just say a cross cut, for example, all right, when you're going across here, you don't want to just hog the stuff out, okay? You don't want to, just take huge chunks out of there, when the blade is, when it's turned into its thing, when it's doing its cutting, okay? You want it to kind of slice its way, slice as it's going through, okay? You kind of want to, it does a fruit ninja thing, where you want to slice right through so you're getting really good, nice, clean cuts, okay? What that does later is it saves you from having a lot of little flyaways and, grain and all that kind of crap, and it makes a lot cleaner cut, okay? So when you're doing your glue-ups and everything else later, everything's going to be a lot smoother, all right? Plus, it's not going to have a whole lot of splinters and that sort of thing when you pick the thing up and, you got 1,000 little barbs coming at the end, okay? So it gives you nice, clean cuts, all right? Now, if you're doing a rip cut, all right, actually, like, something like that, you actually can hog out more of the material because it's just going to go straight through because it's cutting with the grain, okay? So it doesn't have to do that, slice thing like when you're doing a cross cut, okay? Now, sometimes it doesn't matter a whole heck of a lot. There are actually some blades that are designed for laminates, plywoods, and stuff like that. Now, on a piece of plywood like this, you've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. Okay, you got 5 layers on there. All right, plywood has layers. Onions have layers. Plywood has layers. They both have layers. The layers on this one are actually kind of big and thick, okay? So you can actually kind of get away with, using a more inexpensive blade on this because it's not going to tear up the veneer, all right? The veneer is a fancy word for the stuff that's glued on the outside that looks pretty. You don't need to get something super expensive because, like I said, this is, a little bit thicker, a little bit chunkier, all right? But if you look at something like this, all right? Clean up a little bit, like that. There is tons and tons of layers on there, and if you look at that veneer at the top, that is super, super thin, okay? So you don't want a big blade, you know, kind of hog all that stuff out, because then you're going to get some tear out issues. So I'll show you a little example like that, okay? That right there is all tear out, okay? Now, if this edge is going to be exposed, obviously that's going to be kind of an issue. You need to use a better quality blade if you got something that has a really, really thin veneers on it, okay? Now, when you're looking at the blades themselves, okay, so you're at the hardware store at this point, okay? You kind of have an understanding. This is the type of blade that I need. I'm doing a lot of cross cuts, or I want a combination blade, which, you know, combination is going to be like a slice, hog, okay? Again, the teeth on that, it's going to look something like this, okay? It's going to be an alternate top bevel. All right, that's a fancy name for it, but, you know, the bevel is right there and there. All right, so it's going to do a slice, hog. All right, so, you know, a combination blade is really, really nice for pretty much everything, okay? But anyway, so you're at the hardware store, you're looking at all these blades, okay? You got this one right here, obviously, with, you know, the pretty writing on it that comes from the factory. The information that's going to be on this is going to tell you exactly what it's for, the size, and how many teeth, okay? Now, the teeth are really important, because you got this one that has lots and lots of teeth. It's got 60 teeth on this one. This one has a lot less, okay? I didn't count the teeth on this, and it's all kind of worn out. But anyway, this one has a lot less. This is going to give a more fine, accurate cut, okay? Now, on this one, again, this is just a basic blade. I think this is the one that came with my table saw. And if you look at this, I'm not sure how detailed you can see, but looking right up here, you can kind of see how it's an alternate top bevel, okay? You got one sloping to the left, one sloping to the right, one to the left, one to the right, left, right. All right, that's just doing its thing, okay? Then you got this one, it's doing that same thing, all right? And then you got this one, which, looking at the top, it is a flat bevel. Okay, pretty much flat bevel on this one. Okay, so more teeth leads to a cleaner cut. All right, less teeth, on the other hand, is going to lead to typically a faster cut because it's taking more of a bite out of it. Okay, now on the tooth design itself, some of them actually on the tail end, this one's kind of fancy. See this little shark fin deal at the end? This basically prevents the wood from squeezing, from pinching on the blade itself. If you look at these other two, doesn't have that, okay? So this has it's an anti-kickback feature. It's a safety feature of the blade, okay? So that's kind of a little upgrade, all right, that you can use. All right, so now looking at the blade on the outside, because like you said, or like I said, I have a red one, I got a yellow one, and I got just the standard metal one. All right, now let me do a little demonstration. All right. And for all you trolls, yeah, I'm going to hit a blade with my hammer. All right, so go ahead and troll me for this one. All right, now, just listen. Okay, sounds like an altitude gong. All right. Now listen to this one. Thunk. All right, do it again. Versus. Okay. That coating that is on there, it's actually like a Teflon coating. It deadens the blade, okay? So you had a whole lot of vibration on this one, not so much vibration on this one. So this is going to give you, again, a smoother cut. Now, if you look really close at my more expensive blades, I'll show you on the back side, these little squigglies right there, right there, right there, right there. See, they're all over the back side of this. What this does, all right, it's actually twofold. It deadens some of that vibration, so the vibration doesn't go all the way through. All right. If you're familiar with, say, concrete, how you have those little stress marks in it, so if the crack is going, it kind of stops right at that stress mark. It does the same sort of thing. It allows the blade to move, but then it deadens the vibration. Okay. Also, when you're doing a whole lot of cuts, it causes a lot of friction. Friction leads to heat. Heat leads to expansion. Expansion leads to a deflecting of the blade. So, with this little bit of real estate that's in there, just a little laser cut, it allows the blade to expand, and the blade isn't going to start wobbling. Okay, again, this is a more high-end expensive blade. I think this was like $50 or $60. But there are some that you can get by some companies that are like $200 blades that you can get. Okay. On this one, same sort of thing. It also has the squigglies on there. Little different configuration, all right, but it basically serves the same purpose. Okay. So to wrap it up, again, there are tons and tons of different kind of saw blades out there. There are a lot of professionals, and a lot of hobbyists that they have their tabletop set up the way that they want it, and they just use a combination blade. Most of the time, that's me. That's what I do. I set up a standard combination blade because if I'm cutting, one thing and then cutting another thing, I don't want to have to change the blade every single cut. Okay, but I do have a compound miter saw, so I have a dedicated cross-cutting blade in that, and then I have the combination blade dedicated in my table saw. Okay. But yeah, there have been times where I'm working with, say, like ironwood or something that is super, super dense, super, super heavy, where I put in some, like a special blade just for that one cut. Or if I'm doing, some melamine or some laminate or something, I will use a higher end blade because, I don't want that stuff chipping out. Okay. So, I hope that that helps a little bit, kind of clear up that little section of the hardware store. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, whines, bitches, moans, or groans, leave your comments down in the comments section. I will read every single one of them. But if you have any questions, let me know. But anyway, thanks for watching.